Hello and welcome. We're going to do a guided visualization today to help you move through phobias you may have in this lifetime. If you can't figure out how to release them, sometimes, pretty much all the time, it comes from a past life. And I'm going to help you find that past life that is the cause of what's happening. Whether it's a fear of swimming or a fear of drowning, I should say, and you drowned in a past life, whether it's a fear of fire and you died from fire in a past life, or it may not even be about dying. It may just be something that you're carrying with you that you just need to release. And once you know what's happened, sometimes you will immediately shift and you won't have that phobia anymore. I've read for people and also led people through past life regression before where this has happened. So I hope that this can be of assistance to you, and if you do have problems and you want to maybe have a one-on-one, we can talk about it individually. And there's a 30-minute free consultation below that you can click a link on. But in any event, I hope that this video helps you and you'll subscribe to my channel if it does, or you like some of the other ones that you see. So I hope that we can get comfortable now and I'll take you on this little trip in guided visualization. So here you are. I'm going to make sure that you're safe, that you can call in those that will make you feel safe during this. And I know phobias can be a big thing. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing I want you to do before you even get centered is to pull in anything that makes you feel safe. Whether you want to picture a giant teddy bear sitting next to you, or whether you want to put up a force field to help keep out anything that makes you scared or nervous about this phobia. Just know that when we go back into the past life, that you're only an observer unless you want to step into the situation. It's your choice. So here you are, breathing, draining away all the fears and the worries and the expectations, and just allowing it to be whatever this will be. Knowing the phobia you want to work on, keep that in the back of your mind so it will show up. And now let's ask for your highest good in learning what this is and the situation, calling upon your highest self, your angels, your guardians, whatever you need in order to allow yourself to get the most information that will be for your highest and best in this lifetime. And as all of the worries just seep out through your toes and through your fingertips, feel yourself step out of your seated body and walk down a corridor. The corridor is lit with these beautiful lights. It's really large. It almost looks like a cavern, except that it's so beautiful. And you walk down this, seeing that there are many doors. And you realize that these are all the past life doors that you could go into. But you've requested the answer to this phobia. Where did this originate? Why do I have it now? And as you look at all the doors, you see one that's neon. It's red and glowing with little letters around it that says, "Pick me, pick me." And you see this beautiful lights trailing around it, almost like Christmas tree lights. And you look at all the other doors and say, well, that must be the one. And so you go directly to the door and you stand in front of it. And I know that there is some fear that may be there. But remember that the choice you have is to watch it from an observer's viewpoint. You don't need to be involved with this life until the moment that I tell you to. Make sure that you're connected to Source as you were when you asked for the best to come to you. You can ask for your guardian angels, or your guides to come and be with you if you need them to. But know that you're safe. Feel safe. Feel that your current body is in this bubble of safety or light surrounding you. So when you're ready, take a breath and let all the fear tremble into your right hand or your left hand if you're left-handed. Watch it all come down so that you have all of it in the heaviness of your hand. And then after you let it come into your hand, reach that hand to the door and watch all of that fear and that worry go into the door handle as the door opens on its own. And you stand there and you watch this person in this other lifetime like it's a movie. And then as you step through the door, you feel yourself as an observer in this time frame, but you feel like you are in this time frame with that person. You see yourself from a distance, and you know it's you. First, look down at the ground. Is it dirt you're walking on? Is it a path? A street? Is it paved in gold? Is it have dirt and garbage everywhere? What does it look like where you're walking? And when you have that, look at the buildings or the lack of buildings surrounding you. What do those look like? If there are people there, look at the people and what they look like. What time frame are you in? Are you in ancient Rome, Greece, Atlantis? In the squalor of a ghetto somewhere? Are you in London, Paris, China? Maybe you're on another planet. If it looks a little odd and you can't figure out what's going on and the people look very strange, you could be in a whole nother dimension, another planet. Who's to say where our lives have come from? Look at what people are wearing if they are. Know when you are, about when and about where, so that you have that information moving forward. And you see what is yourself in that lifetime. Are you a man or a woman or a being? Follow yourself. What do you look like? Where are you going? How old are you? As all of these feelings come to you, you may be the type of person that sees them clearly. You may just know. You may hear the information. Don't judge yourself. Allow the information to come however it does. Perhaps you'll only get a glance, a feeling, and you won't really know too much about it. But that's all right, because perhaps you don't need to know. Remember, you asked yourself for your highest and best answer. And perhaps you'll just get an impression, or perhaps you'll relive the whole thing because that's what you need to do. Wander through that lifetime until you find the cause of your phobia. Whether it's in the middle of your life, at the beginning of your life, or at the end of your life. Travel there. Time travel until you locate that moment. Know you're safe. You're surrounded. You're okay. But know that you can indeed experience it if you need to from a slightly separate knowingness that you're okay section rather than being in that body and fearful or whatever it was you felt that created the phobia. If it's a person that locked you in a closet and you have a fear of enclosed spaces, if you fell off a building and you have a fear of heights, if you died or were in a horrible fire and lived your life with pain because they didn't have those sorts of connections then and you have those fears, If you have a fear of being abandoned and you see a parent dying when you were young and swearing that you never would be abandoned again, and perhaps that's what the cycle is. Look at that phobia moment. Look around. See who's there. See what caused it. Where you are in your lifetime. You may have made declarations to yourself at that time. Perhaps you have an abandonment issue, but you were the one that abandoned someone. So perhaps you said, I will never abandon you again. And you can't release someone that you said that to. That's maybe a spouse or someone who's a friend who is not really acting as a friend. They're not someone you want in your life, but you can't release them and you don't know why. Because you know they're not for your highest and best. Perhaps you made that declaration back in that other life that said, I will never abandon you again. And you feel now like if you do let them go, you'll be doing that very thing and you'll be abandoning them again. Or perhaps you were the one that was abandoned who swears that you'll never let someone go even if they're bad for you because you feel abandoned. You can't love because if you do, that person will leave you or they'll cheat on you. Look at those moments of that life that you've been led to, that led to the phobia or the huge fear that you have. What decision did you make when it happened to you? What fear came from it? I want you to take those moments that you're seeing and wrap them in love. Shoot them with gold light or purple light or whatever light you feel is right for this moment. Wrap it in love and the lesson that you were feeling, knowing that you can let it go. If you made a declaration that you're still holding on to today, be aware in that moment that you can switch it. You can change it. You can adjust it. So you don't have to keep going back and forth to learn a lesson. You can choose to learn this lesson even if someone else is involved. If you have, for that example that I used, of abandonment, or perhaps of cheating with whoever you're with that you love, you can make that decision never to be part of that connection again. You can heal what your lesson is, even if the other person doesn't. If you know that you made a decision to be with someone in this lifetime to heal something, you can heal it without them healing. You don't need to wait for them. They can heal with someone different or in another lifetime if they need to. But you can move beyond that. You can do that for yourself. And once you allow yourself to do that, phobias and fears will go away. So take that moment now and be aware of that phobia moment. That you've wrapped it in love and perhaps light. And the knowingness of what you might have said or declared at that time. And thank it. Thank it, that moment, that you at that time for having gone through it. Be grateful. Be joyful. And know that you can release it now. You don't need to wait or learn more. You can release it now. Know that the lesson is clear before you come back. You will have learned that lesson. You'll know what you need to do. And you can release right now the fear or phobia that that created later. When you get rid of that beginning fear, everything else will topple and you will no longer have that phobia. I've seen it happen. Allow yourself to be aware of all of those things. And now take that step back out so you're watching all of it and even farther away than if you were already. Take that breath and be aware of the connection from then to now. Watch that cord that bound those two lives together. And watch that lesson you're supposed to learn come to your current self. Watch it settle into you. Whether the lesson is trusting your highest good, whether it's knowing that you're worthy and deserving, whether it's knowing that there is never a lack of what you want, whether it's the knowledge that the fear and the phobia is not real, that you've made it up very well and very clear for yourself, but that it doesn't have substance unless you give it to it. Whatever those lessons are, take it in this lifetime. Be aware and know that you have the power to shift, to change, and to grow beyond that phobia in this lifetime. You can choose to do it. As you thank that person that you were, or that being that you were, and you take that step back towards the door which has reappeared, you stand there with your hand on the doorknob and smile and say, "Thank you. I allow this phobia to die right here at this door. I no longer need to take it back to this current life with me. I now know where it came from, and I no longer need it in my life." And as you step through the door and you close it behind you, that door is no longer red or lit up. It's the same color as all the other ones. It simply is part of your past, and you no longer need to be aware of it or go through that door again. And as you stand in the corridor that is so beautiful, and you breathe in, knowing that you are all you need to be, that the fear has dissolved, the worry and the phobia has dissolved, you smile and know that it's all okay. You are good. You are wonderful. And you no longer need to have that fear in your life. And as you turn and walk back down towards the door that you walked in the first place, you see that where you're headed is absolutely beautiful. It's an open field, and you step out of this hallway and know that your life can shift. And as you step back towards the body that you've left behind to step back into it, you feel that shift. You feel the vibrational shift to a higher place, that you've released that fear, it's fallen away, and you feel raised up. You feel lighter. You feel brighter. You feel like you've learned something. You might even feel taller. I've had that happen before where I've learned a lesson and felt taller, and even had to change my rearview mirror in order to be able to see out of it. You may have manifestation in this life, or you may just have that feeling. And as you come back into the body that you've left behind, you feel that lightness of being, that knowingness that all is well, and that you can indeed be what you want to be in this life without that phobia that you had carried back with you in time. You take a deep breath and allow yourself the knowingness that all is well. You are all that you need to be. You are filled with love and peace And as you come back into this reality, you feel it, you know it, you can be all that you are here for, and all is well. You are in perfect harmony with what you want in this lifetime. And that phobia has disintegrated and left, or at least gotten a lot less. Test yourself out the next time something comes up and see how you feel. See if you need to go through this again. Perhaps you weren't ready to reach the deepest lifetime. Perhaps you reached one that was a result instead of the original lifetime. So you may need to come back again when you've adjusted and shifted a little higher so that then you can go deeper and delve more into the basics. But I hope as you are become fully aware and fully awake that you can feel the difference and that this is all you needed to release that phobia. If not, come back, do it again, or you can call me and we can discuss it. By all means, find your joy and release those phobias which I know are getting in the way of where you want to be. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel and look below this video and you'll find information straight to my website, which will take you to my blog area, to information about Marconic energy, home energy space clearing, as well as transformational life coaching and intuitive readings. Thank you again for joining me. Until next time, blessings.